This video is about something I often encourage people to do when I'm on stage or giving a talk. I call it thanking the thankless. Now, when I say thankless, what I mean is that there are certain jobs that are they're kind of like one-sided, which means that you only hear from people when they're pissed off at you. I mean, think about it. If you're in like maintenance or something, no one ever calls you and says, hey, my plumbing and air conditioning have actually been doing pretty well. Just wanted to check in and say hi. You never hear that. If you're in like IT or systems, no one ever calls and says, hey, you know what? My computer hasn't crashed or run slow in like 1 or 2 months. So, hey, good job. Keep up the good work. It doesn't work like that. I remember one time I was flying out of the Pittsburgh airport, as I fly out of there like every few weeks. And I was running a little bit late. I had all my bags with me, so I was kind of limping along. And the shuttle was about to like pull out of the parking lot and head to the terminal. So I kind of managed to give one little wave. I thought, there's no way. She's already driving away. And much to my surprise, the shuttle paused, stopped. And she actually backed up a little bit, looped around, came up and picked me up. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, I didn't think you were going to stop. I didn't think you were going to come back. I so appreciate that. And as I sat down, there was a little sticker that was one of those stickers that said like, how's my driving? Like report feedback or something like that. So I took a picture of that, got through security, settled into my gate, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to just give this a call and see what happens. So I call in, and the lady picks up. She's like, this is parking service feedback line or something like that. And I said, yeah, I have a little bit of feedback from my trip this morning. And I could almost hear the lady just be like, yes. I was like, yeah, well, I'm sorry I didn't get the name of the driver, but it was around 9 in the morning. I had a really good experience. I was running late, had all my stuff, didn't know where I was going, and I waved, and she didn't have to do this, but she stopped, she turned back around, came back and got me, I should say. And it really was a nice thing to do. It was great. I'm still on the phone. And there's a long pause. And the lady's like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, this is good feedback. This is a good experience. This driver went out of her way to help me out and pick me up, and it just meant a lot to me. I didn't miss my flight. It was great. And at that point, I can almost hear her smiling. Now, I know you're thinking, wait, what do you mean you hear her smiling? If you ever had a really good phone conversation, you can almost hear the other person smiling. She's like, oh my goodness, I can't remember if we ever gotten a call like this. Like, thank you so much. At 9 o'clock, that must have been Janet driving. I'll let her know. I'll pass this feedback on her. Thank you so much. And I realized that we need to do a better job of thanking the thankless. Because again, right, it kind of relates to a psychological principle called absence blindness. Now, absence blindness means that we tend to only notice when things are going wrong. Hey, we don't notice when things are just going right at the status quo. Right? A good example of this is if you get really sick, you realize, oh man, I'm sick, this sucks. But if you're just healthy and feeling good for like 3 months straight, you kind of don't really notice or appreciate it. Same thing in like management. If you have one manager that's constantly having big dramatic controversies and finding a way to fix them, sometimes you might actually think that manager is better than the manager who just never has any issues and you kind of don't notice them. We're oftentimes blind to the absence of problems. And so in things like this, like a shuttle service, if the shuttle drives past you and splashes water on you, it doesn't stop for you, you're going to call in and leave some bad feedback. But we often don't just leave feedback for things being status quo or things going right. And that's why I call these jobs thankless. They never hear the thank you part. They only hear about the I'm pissed at you part. And so one small little thing I think we can all do to spread happiness is to think about these like thankless jobs. What are the jobs that only kind of people hear about when things are not going right due to absence blindness? And try to share good feedback just as much as we do the bad feedback. And this will make for a much happier working world. So I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, here's a video that YouTube suggests you will like. And on this channel, you can find both science-based tools as well as little practical stories like this one to help you be happier in work and in life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.